you want to dominate your friends in Rec Rally? Today, I will show you 4 secret paths intentionally hidden throughout the map by the creators. And then after that, I will show you a game-breaking shortcut that will guarantee you victory. This is the real deal.
ChubbierSnail, ooh.
The first secret path is
The Crystal Cave, wow.
Alrighty, we'll kick the video off at the start line. I will drive at a leisurely pace so that you can see exactly how we get there. Take this first little turn, nothing crazy. And we'll get to a point where we see 4 arrows that are telling you to go to the left. It's your responsibility to completely ignore them. They're liars. And instead drive through this bush. It's all common sense, trust me. And now once you make it through the bush, stick to the right, hug that rock wall, that huge mountain to the right of you, and you will arrive at the Crystal Cave. Oh my goodness. Look at that. You have bats on the ceiling. You have mine carts. It looks like maybe these are glow sticks that the miners were using to get some illumination. It's honestly pretty beautiful in here. It's only one path, so you can't really get lost as long as you keep going straight. I will pause right here for a second. Once you see the sky open up, this is the end of the Crystal Cave. And once you get here, I want to show you really quickly, you have 2 options to work with as to what path you want to go in order to return to the main map. One is to go to the left over there. Just go straight, go through this stuff. 1, 2, 3, nice and easy. We are back in business. And you'll see, this may look familiar, it's the big hill towards the middle of the map. The slightly more difficult path is to go up this hill, and it's helpful if you have a boost to assist you in that process. So I recommend landing this way. You can see there's a track spelled out for you, and then you boost right here, and that should get you just enough momentum to land swimmingly at the top of the Vista Peak Canyon. The Crystal Cave is very cool, but not as awesome as the game-breaking shortcut at the end of the video. Stay tuned. The second secret path is
The campsite, yay.
Let's say you're afraid of bats. Let's say you hate crystals. Do not fret. This next shortcut is for you. Let's return to the 4 arrows. We're not going in that bush anymore because we hate that cave. Grr. So anyways, you continue the normal path. You will find yourself at a barn. You cannot miss it. It's massive. And now this isn't a shortcut here, but this is a recommended path. Plow through the hay and just go right in the center. You know, that's 3 colas right there. It's excellent, but that's not the shortcut. The shortcut is right here. Once you get to the Rally Valley sign, rather than going straight, you're gonna want to take a right-hand turn. Through some bushes, you'll find a path. And I like to call this the campsite. Because if you get out of your car right at the beginning of the path, you will see this nifty little spot. We have a picnic table, we have a grill, and we have a Rec Royale camper here, which is pretty cool. But returning to this shortcut, you have 2 options. You can go left right here at the camper and navigate around it. The path completes, and you've effectively, saved maybe a little bit of time by cutting around that turn right there. And so this shortcut becomes more interesting if you decide to stick to the right over here. You will recognize this area. It is the same landing spot as the Crystal Cave. You can choose to stay in this little divot that is pre-built out for you, and it leads conveniently to the high up ramp that we have. Here's an example of me attempting it without the boost. It still works. It's just a little bit slower, and that's fine also. We love the campsite, but do you know what we love even more? The game-breaking shortcut at the end of the video. Stay tuned. The third secret path is
The gold mine, okay.
Let's assume we have made it to the top of the canyon. We now drop down to this fun area, and we're gonna drive for a little while. If you keep driving, you will eventually get to the Red Hills Railroad. You'll notice it by the defining railroad track and bridge. Cannot miss this one. And so the next shortcut, which I'm going to call the gold mine, is to just take a nice little turn right here instead of going straight. And now this isn't as hidden as the Crystal Cave. It's actually a pretty obvious one if you look a little bit, but it's still pretty cool. It may shave off a few seconds, and it's the only spot on the map that I know of that you could find gold, which is why I've called it the gold mine. So nice little spot. If you continue through it, you're at this big bridge jump, which should look super familiar. The final secret path before the game-breaking shortcut is
The water slide, wow.
Get to this nice long bridge jump as we were before, and instead of going off of it, I know it's tempting, especially with a boost, we're actually going to mosey on down here to the right, and it's a nice little ramp you'll find. You have to go pretty slow so you don't fly too fast, but as you approach it, take a right-hand turn here, and you will find this cool water slide path. Very fun, and at the end right here is a ramp which will put you back on the main track. for bonus points, if you'd like, you could even go through this section here, knock some cones over, and take a little loop right here, which is pretty efficient, and it gets you back on the main path again. Or if you're a bit more conventional, you can take this last jump and just do your best to stay on the main field right here. Get back on with all your buddy cars. Woo! Yes! And before we get to the game-breaking shortcut, I wanted to share with you an honorable mention.
The snail trail. Ew, it's sticky.
At the start line, you need a full boost. So you could either do this in lap 2, or if you need to, you could actually drive backwards, because backwards is the closest spot you could find some KO Colas. They're right down in this river. But anyways, you have your speed boosts. You're at the start line, and you go forward for about 3 seconds, and then you take a nice, nifty turn. Okay, cool. Where's this going? It's going to the snail trail, baby. And so you go to this tall hill, this nice green one, and you're going to need your boost to make it up. So use that boost. Keep aiming forward. It's not going to make it all the way up, but you'll be able to inch your way to the top. Keep going straight, and you'll get to this nice area. It's a nice little spot, huh? It's pretty cute. But what I want you to do is continue to go straight. You'll see some dirt here. You have to hit it like a tiny little ramp. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. And if all goes well, and it should, because you're going to follow the instructions perfectly, boom! We are right before the railroad tracks. You might recognize this. You take a nice little turn here, and all of a sudden, oh my goodness, wow, look at it, the Red Hills Railroad. Yeah, that path circumvented almost the entire map. You go from the start of the map to the railroad, and now you're basically at the water slide, which you can take all the way to the end of the lap. And the reason why this is not game breaking, and the reason why it's only an honorable mention, is because sadly, the game mechanics don't count it as a lap. The reason I'm showing you the snail trail is because deep in my heart, I feel like it's my child. It's an entire path that I discovered and named after myself, and so I'm wildly disappointed it doesn't work. I really want one of you with a much bigger brain than I to figure out a way to make it count as a lap. I think that'd be super cool. So if any of you are able to do this, number 1, send me a video, because that's amazing. And then number 2, let Rec Room know. That's the right thing to do. We don't want shortcuts like this in the game forever. They're fun to mess around with, but they do, unfortunately, ruin the entire map. Can you imagine if the snail trail is the actual path everyone takes, and so 90% of the map is just useless? That'd be pretty boring. It'd be fun for a day, but it would be really boring, and that's not what we want. We want this Rec Room original to have some staying power. Thank you for attending my TED Talk. But now for the moment you've all been waiting for, the absolutely game-shattering shortcut. The Mighty Leap. I'm calling this shortcut the Mighty Leap. It's named after Mighty C-13, who is the first person I saw execute this absolutely brilliant maneuver. And here's how you can do it yourself. We're going to start off by climbing to the top of Vista Peak. Do your best to make sure you have full speed boost when you get to this point. If you don't, it's not a big deal. There's some cans shortly ahead that you can get. As we navigate down, we're going to come to a halt and observe this area right here. Again, for perspective, there is the hill we just came down. This is the ramp we want to go up. And what we're going to do is start running into it. And as you approach it, hit that speed boost. Get that speed, and you will go flying absolutely crazily to the end of the map. Look at this. We're already at the railroad points. We've hopped over like 50% of everything. And now we're at this end point right here with the large jump. You can take the water slide we talked about earlier, or you can just do the normal path, and you will end up at the beginning of the map. And although, in my opinion, this isn't as cool as the snail trail, the cool thing about the Mighty Leap is that it actually works. It registers as a full lap, according to the game mechanics. And so anyone that knows this shortcut will instantly win. It is broken. It is disgusting. You will finish each lap minutes before your opponents. It is impossible for them to catch you unless they also know that shortcut. Here's another angle of the shortcut. And for the record, you don't actually need the boost. You can execute this with a flawlessly timed jump and some speed at the beginning. However, the boost certainly helps. If you're interested in trying the Mighty Leap out, I would say test it out sooner rather than later. I'm not sure it'll even be in the final release of the game, but if it is, I'm almost certain they will remove it soon. This was recorded in an early release version of the game. I did my best to find all the shortcuts I possibly could, but if you find anything I haven't seen, drop a comment below. I'm interested to see what we discover as a community. Thank you all for watching, and remember, stay chubby. Grrrah. I usually record custom songs for the outro, but today we will vibe to the new Rec Rally music. Let's go, team.